Most people don't stay broke because they're lazy, or because they don't earn enough, or because the world is unfair, even though sometimes it is. Most people stay broke because they are trapped inside invisible psychological patterns that quietly sabotage them every single day. Patterns that feel normal, patterns that feel harmless, patterns that feel like this is just how life works. But these patterns are not random. They are learned, they are conditioned, and they are reinforced by the systems around us, systems that benefit when you stay exactly where you are. If you've ever wondered why you work hard but money slips away, or why saving feels impossible, or why your financial life keeps repeating the same cycle, this is why. The truth is simple. Money isn't just numbers. Money is psychology. And the psychology of the average person is designed, intentionally or unintentionally, to keep them in survival mode. When someone grows up in a home where money is always a problem, they don't just inherit financial struggles. They inherit beliefs. Beliefs like, money is hard to get, life is expensive, we can't afford that, rich people are greedy, or we should save only when something bad happens. These beliefs turn into habits. Habits become identity, and identity becomes destiny. Imagine you're a child watching your parents argue about bills, or seeing them choose the cheaper option every time, or hearing them say, one day we'll be able to enjoy life. You absorb that mindset before you even know what money is, and years later, you don't even question it. You simply live it. You repeat it. And without realizing it, you pass it forward. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Once you see the traps, you can escape them. And once you escape them, your entire financial life changes. One of the biggest traps that keep people broke is emotional spending. Not spending because they need something, but spending to feel something. Happiness, relief, pleasure, comfort, a small escape from stress. And companies know this. They design everything, colors, sounds, ads, sales, notifications, to trigger your emotions before your logic can even wake up. Every time you feel bored, stressed, sad, or left out, there's an app, a store, a discount, or a limited offer waiting to give your brain a quick hit of dopamine. People buy things not because they are useful, but because they temporarily fill an emotional gap. Someone who feels lonely buys things to feel better. Someone who feels behind buys things to feel caught up. Someone who feels insecure buys things to feel confident. And none of it lasts, but the money leaves your account instantly. Whole industries depend on this cycle. They don't want you to make logical choices. Logical choices don't make them money. Emotional ones do. Another trap is the survival mentality most people live in. When you're used to just getting by, your brain is trained to focus on the present. You don't think about next month or next year because you're too busy trying to make it through today. Even when you earn more, your mind stays stuck in the same loop. You handle money the way you always have, reactively. You pay bills, you buy what you need, and whatever is left you spend. Not because you're irresponsible, but because your brain is trained to survive, not to plan. People in survival mode can't think like investors, even if they want to. And that's why someone can earn double or triple what they used to and still feel broke. This is why people say, it doesn't matter how much I make, my money always disappears. That's survival psychology in action. Then there's the trap of comfort. The moment someone earns a little more, they upgrade their lifestyle. They get a better phone, eat out a little more, buy nicer things. They convince themselves that they deserve it, and maybe they do. But the problem is that lifestyle grows faster than their income, and soon they're stuck again. But now they're stuck at a higher level. People don't realize how dangerous comfort is. Comfort destroys urgency. Comfort kills ambition. Comfort makes you believe that you have time, that you can fix things later, that you can start saving next month. And so years go by, then decades, and nothing changes. Another powerful trap is financial procrastination. The human brain loves short-term pleasure and hates long-term decisions. That's why so many people say they will start saving later, start investing later, learn about money later, and later never comes. People know what they need to do. They know they should save. They know they should budget. They know they should invest, but they don't, because their brain interprets anything long-term as effort without a reward. That's why people will spend $200 on something today without thinking, but hesitate to invest $50 into something that will grow. The reward is too far away. It doesn't feel real. And so most people will choose the pleasure of now over the security of the future. Every single time. But maybe the biggest trap is identity. People stay broke because they subconsciously identify as someone who is bad with money, or not a money person, or not smart enough, or not lucky. They see wealth as something that happens to others. They see financial success as something out of reach. And the brain always tries to prove your identity right. If you believe you're bad with money, you'll make decisions that support it. If you believe money is hard, it will be. If you believe rich people are evil, your mind will never let you become one. The truth is, You will never rise above the identity you hold. You will never build long-term wealth with a short-term identity. An identity doesn't change from reading a book or watching a video. It changes when your actions change consistently, when you decide that you're done repeating the same cycle, when you stop letting your past dictate your future, when you stop living in survival mode and start building. But escaping these traps isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming aware. Awareness is the key that unlocks everything. When you notice emotional spending, you gain back control. When you see your survival mindset, you realize what needs to change. When you catch yourself procrastinating financially, you can break the pattern. When you recognize your comfort zone, you can step out of it. And when you challenge your identity, you rewrite your future. Money only grows for people who take responsibility for it. Not blame, not guilt, responsibility. The moment you say, "This is my life, my story, and my outcome," everything changes. Most people think wealth is about earning lots of money. It's not. Wealth starts with the way you think, not the way you earn. A person making average income with strong financial psychology will become wealthier than a person making high income with weak habits, every single time. Once you realize that money is a game of discipline, not luck, you start winning. Once you understand that wealth is built from small, consistent choices, not giant leaps, you start growing. Once you embrace planning instead of reacting, everything shifts. Imagine your life 5 years from now. Imagine no longer living paycheck to paycheck. Imagine no longer feeling stressed every time a bill arrives. Imagine having money saved, investments growing, opportunities coming to you instead of you chasing them. Imagine being able to help your family, support your dreams, and build something that lasts. Imagine breaking the cycle that your parents never could. That future doesn't come from working harder. It comes from working smarter. It comes from making decisions that your current self might dislike, but your future self will thank you for. It comes from breaking psychological traps one by one until you become someone unrecognizable from who you were. The moment you stop being the old you, your financial life stops being the old life. And that is why most people stay broke, not because they choose to, but because they never knew they had a choice. Now you do. And that alone puts you ahead of millions. Now, if you're watching this, you're already stepping out of the trap. You're becoming aware. You're seeing the patterns. The question is, will you use this moment to change your life? Or will you let it fade like every other time you said, "I'll start later"? The choice is yours. It always has been. It